What's going on, my beautiful DCU brothers and sisters, and what is going on with the Batman? James Gunn talked to me, bro. So James Gunn did an interview with Screen Rant, and here's what he had to say on the status of the DCU's Batman. Quote, "We'll have to see what we're doing with Batman. We're still figuring that out. So obviously we know some basics about where it's going with Batman, but we're also figuring some things out so everything's fluid." Now, this is just a bunch of word salad. Do they actually know where they want to go? I think so. Is James Gunn maybe, playing coy because he doesn't want to give anything away? Possibly. But I do think there is some, maybe we aren't as concrete when we announced Batman Brave and the Bold with Damian Wayne, which now I have concerns about because maybe they won't use Damian Wayne, which may or may not, please some fans. Again, maybe James Gunn is going to use Nightwing, Dick Grayson instead to set up the relationship between Batman and Dick Grayson and Robin, and then eventually, when they're Batman movie Part 5, Dick Grayson could be Nightwing, and they can introduce Damian Wayne or Jason Todd and play with the Robin mythology, which would be really cool because I want to see Under the Red Hood adapted with Jason Todd because that would be awesome. But again, it all. And I know some people are thinking well, maybe this is a subtle way of saying that James Gunn is going to introduce Robert Pattinson as his DCU Batman, and Robert Pattinson is going to join David Cornsworth, which I think would be a horrible idea. Nobody wants that except for a select few. The majority want their own DCU Batman with James Gunn to play with. So here is an interview. I believe this was 3 years ago when Matt Reeves was promoting the Batman, and he was asked the question on whether or not any Superman could fit within his Batman universe, and here's what Matt Reeves had to say about that.
Do I want to see Superman show up in a sequel? I'm just curious if it exists.
You mean if it could? Is that what you're saying? I mean, if something like that did happen, because I was very careful about, to me, what I try to do is take, I did this in the Apes films too, and even Cloverfield, this idea of taking the one fantastical element and then have everything around it should be as grounded as possible so that it could feel, I want it to feel emotionally real and to make everything feel very believable. And so in this movie, even further, I think, than what I did in those films, I tried to find the practical, believable version. So if suddenly in the Batman world, you discovered that there was an alien that was Superman, there'd be a lot of shock. I mean, people would have to say oh my God, and maybe that would be the one fantastical element. But to be honest with you, that is not the intention at this point, to figure out how to make that come. Look, we should be so lucky that this is a world that people embrace and that they say oh my God, we want to see what would happen when those things collide. I think if that challenge ever presents itself, it would be an exciting one to explore, but I'd have to try and do it through this lens, you know what I mean? And that is absolutely right, that at the moment, to me, this world is the place that I want to focus.
Are you sure about that?
Now, James Gunn did say that the Batman Part 2 will be worked on as a follow-up to Superman, and that has some people saying well, this is going to be the world's finest. This is going to be the introduction, which I highly doubt it will be. I do think that the Batman will be its own thing, and Robert Pattinson will not be the DCU Batman. Who will be the DCU Batman? Some people are saying Brandon Sklenar, which I think would be a pretty cool choice. Some people think it's going to be Alan Richardson. Whoever it is, I'm sure some people, like always, it's the internet. Some people will love it, some people will hate it, but we're all going to see it, and hopefully it'll be what we all expect, which is a great Batman film. So I trust James Gunn. The fact that, he's not really dead set on making this thing just because he announced it. No, if it's not right, then yeah, change some stuff up if you don't feel great about it. And, that's what makes movies great, is that you're not so locked in just because you announced it. No, you understand okay, this is a little bit more trickier than we had hoped, but we're gonna, manage it and find a way to make it work. Just as long as you take your time, we will be there. So I trust James Gunn. That's going to be it. Hit like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Discord, TikTok. This is Ashix. Share the video, like the video. It helps immensely. And as always, truth out.
1, 2, 3, Batman.
Batman. Oh, no.
Oh, man, I'm just trying to end up in that movie. I really want to be in that movie.
All right, here we go.